You're muting and going off video?
I am, as soon as I just
Yeah.
introduction to the students.
Oh, you might also want to stop sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry. Well, I want to share this right now.
Oh, this one. Okay, yeah. I see that.
And then I'm going to be gone.
Perfect, great.
Get all the time. All here. Okay, so I want to welcome everybody to College2Career Affairs, and there's just a few things I want to go over before I turn it over to Loyola Marymount. So,
actually, Loyola Chicago.
Oh, sorry, Loyola.
Or Loyola's. It's very confusing. I can explain why that's what the similarities are, but yeah, Loyola Chicago.
Okay, so just want to remind you guys to sign up for more sessions. This is one of many college presentations offered, and you can go to that website and sign up for the sessions that we'll go on through next week. The session is being recorded, and the recorded sessions will be available once our sessions are completed, and you can go to that website at college2careeraffairsconnect.org. If you would like to ask the representative some questions, you will use your Q&A button to type your questions to the presenters at any time, but you will not have access to camera and microphone. So you are muted and your video is off, and you can only see the person that is giving the presentation. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Emily.
Hi, hello everyone. So glad you're joining me today. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about Loyola Chicago today. So I've got a couple things we're going to do, and I'm hoping, I'm expecting to have 2 students that are going to join us on the panel in a little bit. So I'm close to the end. And so at the end, we're going to ideally have a panel discussion where you guys can ask questions to them and actually have students answer. I can answer questions as well, but it's great to have that student perspective. So I'm expecting that they're going to join us in about 20-25 minutes. But before that, I'm going to start with a really short video. I start with this just because I like to kind of try to place you at the university, because it's like, I want you to think about how it feels to be there. And much more than words, I think a video gives that feeling. So it's just 3 minutes. I'm actually going to stop it once it starts talking about the application information, because I do this presentation that will go over that information for you. So let me share my screen and get that up for you.
Hello, and welcome to Loyola University Chicago. As the largest Jesuit college in the country, we embrace the values of a Jesuit education, focused on the care of the whole person, global awareness, service, and being men and women for others. We are located in the city of Chicago, the 3rd largest city in the U.S., known for business and entertainment. Chicago is home to 33 Fortune 500 companies, 70 world-famous museums, and let's not forget our 8 major sports teams. Loyola has 2 undergraduate campuses in Chicago. The Lakeshore campus is nestled in a residential neighborhood along the shores of beautiful Lake Michigan, creating a traditional college experience. 8 miles south, our Water Tower campus lies in the heart of downtown Chicago, right off of Michigan Avenue. Loyola students often remark that our 2 campuses represent the best of both worlds, combining a traditional residential campus with a more fast-paced metropolitan one. Loyola serves 17,000 diverse students, 12,000 being undergraduates. Here, they enjoy studying over 80 majors and minors, 36 5-year dual degree programs, and at our renowned medical and law schools. Outside of the classroom, Ramblers are active in over 250 student organizations, ranging from Greek life to Division I athletics, along with competitive club and intramural sports. Best Colleges named Loyola the #1 university intramural sports program in the country last year. Students interested in more eco-friendly pursuits may want to check out Loyola's Retreat and Ecology Center just north of campus. It has ropes courses, a fully sustainable farm, outdoor education, and farm-to-table cooking classes. Ready to join our Rambler community?
All right, gonna stop it there because as I mentioned, I will talk about
the application portion. I know you guys are very much at that. A lot of you are actually working on the application right now, so we'll make sure to talk about that. But first, I do want to give you a little bit more information and share a little presentation with some slides. I am Emily, and I'm one of the admission counselors. I'm assistant director of admissions at Loyola Chicago. So I am regionally based. I'm actually based in California. Normally, for these things, we would be doing this in person, and I am traveling normally all over it during the fall. This fall, it looks very different for me as it does for all of you. We are all doing this virtually now. So actually, in some ways, it makes it easier. There's not a plane ride for me to get to you, if you are in parts of my region, or a car drive. But so that's quicker, it's nicer. So hopefully you're taking advantage of that you can actually get to see more counselors and get even more exposure in a different way this year, which is kind of nice. One of the weird perks for you guys of being able to do this virtually. So let me pull this up. I'm going to share another screen with you here. Just give me a second. All right. So I'm going to start here just talking a little bit about our roots. And, we started this out, as you heard, we were called Loyola Marymount, and that's okay, because there obviously is a similarity there and many students come up to me at fairs. One of the questions I get from students who see our name is, wait, are you the same as Loyola Marymount? Or what about Loyola Maryland or Loyola New Orleans? It is just, it's the name. So the Jesuits are the largest order of Catholic priests. The Jesuit is the name of the priest who founded the Jesuits. Loyola was the name. So that is the relation between those four universities. Beyond that, we're one of 27 Jesuit universities in the US, and the other ones don't have the name Loyola in it. So those four just have that. So we are one of the 27 Jesuit universities, over 200 in the world. So there are a lot of them. And what it means to be Jesuit, we're very dedicated to education. So that's one of the big things. That's why you see, that Loyola, that's why you see Jesuit universities all over the world, is that dedication to education, and even beyond that, to a well-rounded global education. So we're really dedicated, to providing that to students and to our community. We believe in a number of things. One of the big things that Loyola, that Jesuit universities stand for, and Loyola Chicago stands for, is taking care of students, not just making you smarter, but taking care of you as a whole individual. There's something we say, you can see that on the screen there, cura personalis, and that's a Latin phrase for care of the whole person. So we see students as a mind, body, and a spirit, and all individuals having those three components. And we really believe in a balance of all three of those in order for individuals to be healthy. So you're going to really see an emphasis, and you'll see that I'm going to talk about it later in this presentation, the emphasis on the experience outside of the classroom. So of course the academic component is huge. It's what first comes to mind when you think of university. You're obviously going away to go study or get it, in a specific major, in a specific school. But beyond that, it's just really so much more than that. It's really about the experience and the infrastructure that we have there set up to help you really have a rich experience and to help you grow in both mind, body, and spirit. That's really the big part of it. The second thing is just a dedication to social justice and providing opportunities for students to get involved in that. We really believe that students are coming not just to become smarter, but also to learn how they can do more in the world, to benefit the world in ideally a positive way. So we really believe that starts when students are in school. That's not something that you're looking to do when you graduate. That's something that you're going to be doing as a student at Loyola Chicago. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about those opportunities, but that's really what the Loyola community is about. We attract students who are looking for those opportunities to do more in the world. That's really what our community is about. But where we're located, right? We're located in Chicago, and we're located right on the shores of Lake Michigan. So it's a very unique location that offers our students so much. I think there's at least one, if not all of you here today, because you think Chicago would be a cool place to study. And you are right. It's the third largest city in the US, and it's just an awesome place to be a college student. The public transport just works so well. So it's just really cool to be in Chicago, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But our community right there on the shores of Lake Michigan, that's one of our 2 campuses that are in Chicago. We also have a second campus, our Water Tower campus, that's in downtown Chicago. So it's really cool that you get the best of both worlds, because our Lakeshore campus is very much our kind of traditional university campus. You can see the rolling green hills there, the green space that we have. And, we've been here for over 150 years, so we've got a really awesome piece of land there with these just beautiful old buildings that give it a wonderful feel. But you're in the heart of Chicago. You are right there. You're only 35 minutes, 40 minutes from downtown Chicago. Our community of undergraduate students is just over 12,000 students. So I think that's a really awesome size. Obviously, it's a lot smaller than a huge research institution that might number in the 30s, 40s, 50,000 students. But we are a lot bigger than the typical liberal arts university. So we're a solid mid-sized university with that number of students. And what that means is just that you're going to have a lot of opportunities. You're going to see here in this presentation how many different options you have of degrees to study, lots of different majors, really robust campus community, but you get individualized attention. The classroom sizes are very small, averaging 26 students in a class. So it's really nice in that way that you can be a part of the community and know who, your place there, but also just keep exploring. You're never going to know everybody on campus. You're always going to be walking across campus and see new faces, but your faculty members are going to get to know you. You're going to know your teachers. Very diverse community, as you can see here reflected in our numbers. That's for 2 reasons, I think. Number one being the Jesuit University, that's also all-inclusive. That's really also a pillar of being of our mission, is all students are welcome on our campus. And then of course, being in Chicago, students are attracted to a big city, lots of different students from many different backgrounds. So it's really cool that we just have that kind of diversity on our campus, with students coming from all 50 states, which is awesome, just very diverse. The 2 campuses I mentioned, we've got the Lakeshore campus right on Lake Michigan, which is just an awesome location because, university can be really hectic. It can feel very stressful, but you are right there on a beautiful lake, and you walk out there, you feel peaceful. You really feel a sense of peace right there. So it really has an amazing feel to be on the campus. And the Lakeshore campus is really the center of student life. It's where you'd most likely be spending the majority of your 4 years, depending on your major. But club life happens here. This is where our Damon Student Center, our Wellness Center is here. This is the center for sports. So we are a D1 school, and the majority of those games are held, that are home games, are held here on our Lakeshore campus. This is also where 21 of our 22 residence halls are located. So, the majority of housing is here. We have a 2-year residency requirement. So students are all living here their first year, and most students also their second year. And it's up to you, your 3rd or 4th year, if you live here or choose to live off campus. So so that's our Lakeshore campus. And then the second campus that we have is our Water Tower campus, right in the heart of downtown Chicago. So this is really a cool campus because it's kind of, as I see it, like our professional campus, and our other one more of our traditional campus. This is 6 high-rise buildings right in the heart of downtown Chicago, right off of Miracle Mile there. So the schools that we house there are, more of our professional schools, our School of Business, our School of Education, Social Work. Our law schools are also down there, and many of our graduate programs are also located downtown. It is a fully functioning campus. It has a residence hall. If you want to live in a high-rise, building in downtown Chicago, it's something you can do your 2nd, your 3rd or your 4th year. Yeah, and it has a small recreation center, it has a cafe, it has a pretty big library, lots of different study spaces. So one of the big questions I get about, being a dual campus university is, how does that work? How's my schedule going to come together if I have to go between campuses? It works very well. We've got a shuttle that makes it easy for students. So every 20 minutes, we have this shuttle that leaves from, one campus to the other, going back and forth between 7 a.m. and midnight. Students are typically not going back and forth throughout the day. You're really going to make a schedule that works for you, in terms of having the 2 campuses. So if you do have a a class downtown, that might be on a Tuesday and Thursday evening. You might schedule that as the same day that you do your internship downtown. So you're going to jump on a bus and go downtown to your internship, maybe in the afternoon from 12 to 4 o'clock. You might have a little break till before your seminar class, get a little studying in, grab something to eat downtown, and then do your seminar class from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., jump on the shuttle and go back to your dorm at the Lakeshore campus. So that's an example kind of how it works together. The majority of students would take a class at the downtown campus, even if you are not a business, education, communication student, social work student. It could be more of a preference thing. There's a lot of classes that have multiple sections, one offered downtown, some offered at the Lakeshore campus. But there are many classes that are only offered at the Water Tower campus. So you'd likely have the chance to do that throughout the 4 years. And that excites students that you can have, experience both campuses. The last thing I want to say about the 2 campuses that I think is really cool is that the shuttle that runs between the campuses is actually powered by biodiesel fuel that we make on the campus. And that is made out of the grease that we collect from our 3 cafeterias. So they collect that grease, make biodiesel fuel that powers our shuttles, and the runoff from that is actually then converted into soap that they use in our bathrooms on the campus. So I think it's pretty cool. You can feel good about your French fry consumption at Loyola Chicago. We are a very green campus, it's, consistently in the top 50 greenest campuses ranked by the Sierra Cut Club. So we're really, really excited about that with our School of Environmental Sustainability. Sorry, I'm going all over here. Here we are. So back to talking just a moment more about Chicago, because that's really, something that I know attracts a lot of students to Loyola Chicago. And as I mentioned, just an awesome city to be a college student. So it's a city that's about the same size as New York, but it has less than half the population. So to me, that just makes it great, because it definitely does not have that, it has the sense of having enough space. That's what I'll say about that. It just feels like there's just lots of green spaces. You can see there, I love this picture that shows the beach that we have. And that beach runs, you can get to this beautiful beach, right from the campus. You can walk to beautiful green areas, green spaces, awesome spaces to bike. So there's just really, really nice outdoor things, but it does have amazing museums and just really everything that a large metropolitan city has, from the weekends host many, many different festivals, starting in the spring and through the summer. Lollapalooza is one of them that comes through in non-COVID times, obviously. But the art museum, open year round, beautiful, really, really cool place, for that, our students definitely spend time there. So public transportation works really well. I kept mentioning our shuttle, but I should also say that you can take a train. You can get from the Loyola stop at our Lakeshore campus, and you can get downtown in about 45 minutes, 40 minutes. So it's just really awesome that you're able to get around the city in that way. So very easy to get around all over Chicago, not just between the campuses, but can use public transportation as a college student. Really a city you don't want to have a car, I don't think. You don't need a car, and it's just not necessary. academics, let me talk a little bit about our different colleges that we have. Mention the ones that were on our Lakeshore, on our Water Tower campus. Our larger department, our largest school of arts and sciences, located at our on our Lakeshore campus, as well as our School of Nursing and our School of Environmental Sustainability and our Parkinson School of Health Sciences and Public Health. Those are all located at our Lakeshore campus. We have over 80 different majors that are offered between all of these schools. So the nice thing is that you're definitely going to find something that you're interested in studying. And if you don't know what you're interested in studying right now, that's okay. You are able to come as an undecided student and figure that out in your first 2 years. You've got 4 semesters before you have to solidly declare your major. And it is very common for students to, even double major or major and minor. That's very common at Loyola Chicago. Study abroad, always get asked about it. We do have our own center in Rome, our John Felice Rome Center. So that's a really awesome option for students who want to study abroad. Also have a center in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. But outside of that, we partner with so many different universities globally, and we also use the Jesuit University Network all over the world. So there's lots of different places that you can choose to study abroad. Typically, students study abroad their second, third, or possibly their 4th year. But we do even have a Rome Start program where students actually start their freshman year at our John Felice Center in Rome, so that you can actually do that. But with study abroad, you just really want to plan ahead. You can still graduate in 4 years, even going abroad for a semester or a year. It's possible to do that and still graduate in time, but you do need to just make sure to plan ahead. So definitely something I recommend for all students, that you really try to make this a part of your 4 years. It is just such a rich experience, and just for me, it was the best year of my undergraduate studies. And so I really can't talk highly enough about studying abroad. I mean, I really love to study abroad. But we are very much a university that believes in engaged learning and hands-on education. So, I talked a little bit about that in the first slide about our Jesuit roots and really giving students that full experience, not just in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom. And that's really what this learn by doing is about, is that, what you're doing outside of that classroom experience. And we have this really cool office, our Center for Experiential Learning, that helps students find these opportunities. So this office is set up that's going to help you find those internships, those research opportunities, find opportunities for doing service learning right in Chicago or even outside of the city. There are all of these opportunities that this office helps you kind of not only just locate them. It's not just like a list of positions, but it's actually, they walk you through how do you get those kinds of positions. An internship, it's not one internship fits every student. So they're really working with students to help you figure out, what kind of experience you're looking for in that internship, and, how do you build that resume? How do you do interviews, that mock interviews, really helping you through that process until you get, get an internship. And it's not just one internship. Many students do more than one internship throughout their time at Loyola. Research opportunities definitely available at Loyola Chicago. Many students do that. We are undergraduate heavy, as you saw. 12,000 of our 17,000 students are undergraduates. So what that means is just that there are opportunities for students at the undergraduate level to do research, and our Office of Experiential, or Center for Experiential Learning, helps students with that. So that's kind of the engaged learning component. It's also a part of your curriculum. At least one of the classes that you're going to take is going to actually have an engaged learning component within it, and all students are required to do that. Lots of things to do outside of the campus. Being a residential campus, we are a very robust environment for students. Lots of different clubs and organizations, from ones that are just for fun, like the Hula Hoop Club, to academic decathlon, Model United Nations, more academic focused ones, to lots of things that are cultural. We have over 40 culturally focused clubs and organizations. And then, of course, dozens and dozens of sporting clubs, intramural sports, and club sports. We have a variety of fraternities and sororities that are offered, but I always like to mention we don't have the sorority or fraternity houses. So that's a little bit different in terms of that kind of activity on the campus, but it is something that is available that students do take part in as students at Loyola. We are Division I, so the sporting, sports are very big at Loyola. A lot of school spirit around that, and even if you're not coming to play, Division I volleyball, it's always fun to come and be able to watch those games and root for somebody in your dormitory or your roommate or a friend from a class who's playing in that game. So that's really cool. A little bit about the freshman application before we open this up. I have 2 students that have joined me, and I'll open it up after we talk a little bit about the application. So if you have any questions, feel free to put those into the Q&A box for the students or for me, either way, but we'll do that just after we talk a little bit about the application. So the application has opened up. You can find it, multiple ways to apply. And really there's not one way that's better than another. A lot of students ask, should I apply if I got an email, with a button? It's up to you, multiple ways to apply. Big change this year, as you're probably hearing from some other universities, we are test optional. So if you're not able to take a test, SAT, ACT, you are able to apply test optional and submit that application without those test scores. If you have a test, if you've taken one of those tests and have a score, I do recommend that you submit it. It can help. It can give you a little bit more, help you, get a little bit more in terms of financial aid that can be helpful, but again, not required. The only program that we have that is direct entry is our nursing program. So I mentioned earlier about applying undecided, undeclared. Totally great to do that, except if you're thinking nursing. If you're thinking nursing at all, you do need to apply for that one up front. You can't transfer into that program. But outside of nursing, it is possible to make changes with your major and come in undeclared and then move into a major. So here we're also sharing the information about the, kind of the averages is what you're seeing here. And that just gives you kind of an idea of where, where our incoming class fell last year. So next year we might not have these SAT scores, but last year we did. So we're sharing them here just to give you an idea of those averages. The only important date in terms of applying is our priority deadline of December 1st. You definitely want to get everything in by that deadline, by that date, in order to be considered for the most amount of merit aid or be able to apply for scholarships. So that's an important, definitely an important date to remember. Scholarships and financial aid. Students who apply are automatically considered for merit aid. So the merit aid, you can see the range there. If you are admitted, your admission letter would say, how much merit aid you would be receiving. So that's kind of nice because right off the bat, you kind of know, in terms of at least one kind of aid that you'll be receiving, your merit aid. You already see that with your admission letter, and that's not a separate application. That's just we take look at what the items that you're already submitting for the application, and that's what that's awarded based on. And then additional scholarships open up in early December. That's why that December 1st date's really important. There's a number of additional scholarships that students can start applying for at that point. We highly recommend students to complete the FAFSA. All students should definitely submit that. It's really important. Even if you think, hey, my parents, we won't get aid. Even if you don't think that, I highly recommend that you do it. If your financial situation changes between now and next fall, which happened for many students this last year, there was a lot of financial changes for families. That's where that FAFSA can really come into play. So definitely recommend doing that. And we are very generous in terms of merit aid. Students receive, vast majority of students, as you can see, do receive merit aids or grants and scholarships from Loyola. So the application is a free process to complete it. So definitely recommend, it doesn't cost more to apply to Loyola Chicago. And then in terms of your financial aid package, you'll receive kind of a more solid financial aid package with more of your numbers. That would include your FAFSA and additional aid that you get. additional grants, that would come out to you at the end of January or early February, typically, if you've applied by that priority deadline. This is our bragging slide that we love to put at the end. We're just really proud of our graduates. They're, for the most part, really ready to graduate. Our students don't start using the Career Center their senior year. You're starting to use the Career Center early on. By the time they graduate, they've attended many job fairs that we have on the campus. They've, done internships. They're ready. Their resume is complete. They're either going to graduate school or starting a job, right off the bat. So just really proud of these kind of a few of these things here that we like to brag about. So last slide is just my contact information. So I am, the best person to reach out to in terms of questions that you might have, really based for anything, and that's application questions. Later that might be financial aid questions. Then it's going to be roommate questions. So if you get this information, I'll also try to put it in. I can put it in the questions and answers, I think, as well, but this is my information. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and see if you give me just a minute, and I will get my students here. Good, Alex, you were able to change your name. Are you able to rename? Can you each rename yourself? Let me see. Give me a second while we get. Akib, are you able to rename yourself? I see I have Alex here.
Sorry, my computer's like messed up, so I have to like log in on my phone.
Oh, that's okay. I can rename you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I am able to rename myself.
Yeah, I can do that. And Akib, can you remind me of your major?
Yeah, biology.
And where are you from?
Seattle.
Seattle as well. Awesome. We've got 2 Seattle students here. All right, and what I'm going to have, I just renaming. There we go. I spelled that right, Akib?
Let's see. Yep, you're good.
Great. All right, so we've got 2 students joining us today, and we have Alex and Akib. And so I'm going to have each of you kind of give us a little intro about you. Tell us the year, repeat where you're from, and just a little, just briefly mention clubs, student organizations that you're a part of. I'll have Alex. Would you mind starting us off?
Yeah. So hi, my name is Alex. I'm a sophomore here at Loyola. I'm a marketing major and information systems minor. I'm from Seattle, Washington. And on campus, I'm involved in a social fraternity called Pi Kappa Phi, as well as the ski club, Korean student organization, and an outdoor club.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Akib?
Yeah, hi. My name's Akib. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm majoring in biology with an intended minor in biostatistics. I'm part of the Pakistani Student Association. I'm currently serving as the vice president. And I also help out with the Muslim Student Association as well.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks a lot. All right, let me get it started here. I've got some, I lost my questions. Yeah, there we go. So I like to start us out with kind of the question of what made you guys choose Loyola Chicago? What kind of attracted you to there? And how did it become your final decision? What was those factors that came into play? Akib, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So when I was applying to schools, I was touring a bunch of schools, and I felt that every school I went to, there was either an issue in the program, or there was an issue with the campus, or something was wrong. But when I toured Loyola, I just felt like I couldn't come up with anything that was wrong, even if I tried to. The program was a perfect fit. The campus was a perfect fit. Its proximity to a big city was exactly what I was looking for. Plus, it still retained a campus feel, which is what I wanted. And it just felt like it checked out all the boxes, and it felt like it was worth the big move to Chicago.
Cool, great. Alex, how about you?
Yeah, so for me, there's kind of 2 main reasons. So the first one was like the location in the city of Chicago. And like with the Water Tower campus, you get that like super urban campus feel, like you're right in the middle of downtown. Like, and that's really nice for things like finding internships and like job opportunities. And then you have like the Lakeshore campus as well. And like with that, you still get that really traditional like college feel. And then the second was like the community. So I toured during the polar vortex. So if you guys don't know what that was, it was like, it was colder than it was in like the Arctic. It was like negative like 15 or something with the wind chill. And like just walking around campus, like even during that, people were so like friendly and kind. And like, so just that community that's like really supportive is like one of the major reasons for me.
Alex, I'm glad you brought up the weather, because that's definitely a question that we get from, West Coast students all the time. And so tell me a little bit, how was that move for you guys coming from West Coast, where you were, used to wet weather, but not snowy weather, not freezing cold, and definitely not used to polar vortexes, I'm assuming. So yeah, how did that transition go for you, Akib?
I think I would preface it by saying that one, it's no joke. My mom lived in Chicago for the first 15 years of her life, but even she doesn't remember like how kind of cold the winters was. So the winters, like I think as long as you're prepared and you have like a heavy jacket, gloves, a beanie, and all that, I think that's the smart thing to do. I kind of got a little complacent, not complacent, but maybe a little overconfident, saying, "Oh no, I'll be fine," and it's not that cold. But no, you really need to equip yourself well. Because I'm a junior, my first winter was the polar vortex. So it was a little extreme for the first winter, but honestly, it was actually really fun because it was kind of everyone was going through it. It felt like once in a like blue moon type of event that was going on campus. And a lot of people were on campus, so we got together, stayed indoors and everything. So yeah, I would just say like, you're not the only person going through it. There's so many other people, some people who are really well equipped to it and some people who aren't. And you're just going to kind of go through this journey of the weather together, whether it's like cold, snowing. The rain is also another thing. Like I said, I'm from Seattle. We're a little passionate about not owning umbrellas. The first umbrella I ever bought was like first day of classes in Chicago, because over in Chicago, the rain, if like rains for me like 10-15 minutes, but then it just like downpours. Over here, like rains for the whole day, but gradually, and probably similar in other states on the West Coast as well. So umbrella, heavy jacket, boots, and all that, definitely come well equipped. They are a little pricey, but the thing is, those stuff are usually made pretty durable, that they'll last you at least 2-3 years, if not all 4 years.
Yeah, I often hear the advice of waiting till you get out to Chicago to buy your jacket, because you're not going to find the the right kind of parka out in Seattle that you really need there. Alex, you talked a little bit about already. Anything you want to add about the weather that transition moving out from the weather you're used to?
Yes. Honestly, it was not as bad as like I thought it would be. Like you really appreciate like when you do get inside. And like I learned really quickly like how important it was to like wear layers and just like check the weather in the morning and like make sure you are dressing appropriately.
Yeah, totally. And I really liked how you both talked about the community aspect to it. I mean, it's definitely, I always hear, there's like never a panel that I listen to that I don't hear students talk about that community. And that goes, for everything you're going through, but it's, goes with that weather as well. And I like that a lot. Yeah, that's really great. One thing I want to hear, we don't have too much more time. It's a really short panel, even compared to what you guys are used to doing, I know, Akib and Alex, but I would love to hear a little bit about your participation in organizations and, club life. You mentioned the organizations you were a part of. Could you each take, 1 or 2 minutes and just talk about kind of a little bit more in depth in terms of how did you choose those clubs that you're a part of, and how is that balancing, student life with club life and finding the time to do it all? Talk a little bit about that. That really excites, high school students, I know. Sorry, Alex, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So like I said, I'm involved in like a few different clubs on campus, but I think the biggest way to get involved is at the beginning of each semester, they have a club fair in like our Gentile arena, which is like the big basketball. And like all the clubs on campus, they set up a table. And so like you just get to walk around and like sign up for stuff. The only thing is Greek life here is a little unique. So like Emily said, like we don't have like traditional like Greek housing, but like how a lot of times how it works is like a bunch of the brothers will live together. So like 4 or 5, 6 guys will live together in a house. And we also do have a deferred recruitment program. So that what that means is you can't rush until after your first semester. And if you are looking for like that really traditional like Greek experience, like Loyola is not really like the right place. Like our Greek community is like super inclusive. Like you have friends across like all the orgs. Yeah, it's still a lot of fun though.
Cool. Awesome. Akib?
Yeah, the organization fair, like it's like the first week of when you have classes, is the best way to get involved. And I think what's really nice about organization fair, especially if you're coming from like a West Coast, chances are you might not know anyone going with you to Loyola. You might know, but chances are, what I've noticed with people who come from like West Coast states is they don't know a lot of people. Getting involved with clubs right away is a good way to get acclimated to the community and get comfortable with the just get comfortable with Loyola. I feel like it's a good way to ease yourself, and you keep yourself busy, and it kind of helps with that adjustment, because there will be an adjustment period. So I got involved with the Bucks County Student Association at the org fair. They were my freshman year. They were doing interviews for freshman reps. I signed up. I interviewed. I got the position, and I was secretary last year. Now I'm vice president, and I love it. We throw really, really good events. Fun events, and then we throw some service fundraiser events. And I can't emphasize, you'll hear this on every college panel you attend. Like, joining orgs is important, but experiencing it firsthand just kind of affirms it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate both of you kind of giving that input or organization. So, students are so interested in what there is to do on campus, and is there going to be enough to do? So I think we've got time probably for 2 more questions here before I wrap things up. But one thing I'd like to know about a resource, for a lot of students, coming to Loyola, it's a big transition, obviously, for all students. So when high school students are thinking about this, they're kind of wondering, what is there that's going to help make that easier? So would each of you talk about one resource that you found helpful on the campus when you came, that helped you with that transition from coming to your to get transitioning to university life? Akib, do you want to get started?
Yeah, sorry, a resource that helped me.
Yeah, that helped you. Even if you just a resource that was helpful on the campus that when you got there, it could be something that you did during that first semester, or something that you're still using. A resource that's still useful for you.
Yeah, I think again, I'm gonna connect this stuff from the West Coast that I've never experienced. That I thought not more. I guess not technically the Loyola community, but just the city of Chicago and around, is using your CTA pass. Is that okay to talk about?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think the CTA pass was a really helpful resource, just because over here in Seattle, our public transportation system isn't the best, and so having this card that you can take any of the CTA trains, take any of the buses without paying for Uber or Lyft and stuff, and it's really convenient. We have a stop right on campus. We're the only school on the Red Line to have a stop named after us, and I think that convenience and accessibility is really, really nice. You can be in downtown Chicago within 20-25 minutes, especially when there's traffic on Lakeshore Drive, in the mornings or in the evening time. You don't really want to take an Uber or Lyft. It could take north of 45 minutes to even get there with traffic. So the CTA is really, really nice. CTA pass, sorry. So yeah, I thought that was a great feature. I don't know, maybe initially I thought I wasn't going to use it a lot, but I ended up using it a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely a resource that helps students get to know Chicago. So a good one. Alex, something you want to add?
Yeah. So one thing that was really helpful for me was the University 101 class. So it's a seminar with an advisor, and it's a small group of students, 10. And the whole goal of the class is they really help you plan out your major and when you're going to take certain classes for the rest of your 4 years. And additionally, Loyola is really aware that this is a really big transition for a lot of students. So having that advisor there for you, whenever you need to talk, and they make sure you're really aware of different events going on campus, and they really encourage you to get involved.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Alex, for that. I did have a question about coaches. If you really want to look up the coach at Loyola Chicago, if you want to reach out to them, you could. I'll give you I can't figure out how to type my information again, but I will just give you my phone number here is 312-509-8255. 1036, and that's the best contact for me. And that's, you can even text me, and if you had questions that you wanted to answer. I didn't get to talk too much about the nursing program. We do have 2 events coming up, open houses in October and November, and so reach out to me if you don't already get emails from us. I also will hopefully get your contact information after this, and I should be able to reach out to you. And you will get invited to those open houses, and we will have sessions that focus on the nursing program. So regarding that question, definitely you want to attend that session during our open house about the nursing program. We're going to have students from the nursing program that will attend, as well as some faculty members that will be on that. So that's going to be the best place to really get an idea of how about the nursing program, our direct entry 4-year nursing program. So thanks, Alex and Akib. I really appreciate you both being here today for this short student panel, but always very valuable to have that input from students. And thanks to everyone else for attending. I hope this was useful. I hope you learned at least a few more things that you didn't know, and it hopefully moved you closer to being ready to submit your application for Loyola Chicago. So from Loyola Chicago, just wanted to say goodbye. Anything else from StriveScan that we need here before we have them log off?
Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up by thanking everybody for joining us today with Loyola Chicago. And there is going to be a quick survey. So after you close the window, there will be a very quick 4-question survey. We'd really like to hear from you guys what you think of the presentation. And sign up for other sessions, check out the schedule, and the recordings will be available. All sessions are being recorded and will be available at College2Career Fairs Connect.org. Okay, thank you. Bye.